The Golden State Warriors are doing it again. As you all know, the Warriors went down 2-0 against the Sacramento Kings, but after 3 games all the way to Game 5, they are now up 3-2 in the series and recently won their game 123-116. In today's video, we're going to be going through 5 key reasons why the Golden State Warriors were able to win against the Sacramento Kings in Game 5, and how these 5 things are also going to be a huge impact not only for the rest of the series, but the rest of the playoff run all the way to the NBA Championship. So make sure to like this video, and guys, 92% of you are still not subscribed to the channel, so it means the world. You can subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. So the first is Kavon Looney had himself a monster game. Now, as you all know, Kavon Looney has been such a vital person for this roster, but he has honestly showed out because in the most recent game, in Game 5 against Sacramento, he had himself 4 points, 22 rebounds, and 7 assists. Yes, guys, I'll say it again, 22 rebounds. This is something that has honestly been fantastic to see from someone like Kavon Looney. And not only does it show up in the stat sheet, but you definitely saw with the defense he was playing that he was causing a lot of problems for the Sacramento Kings, especially when it came to players such as Sabonis, Barnes, or even someone like De'Aaron Fox driving to the lane. Although he didn't score a lot of points, I think what Kavon Looney really does provide for this team is not only just rebounding, but his just defensive presence is definitely felt throughout the whole game. Not only with 22 rebounds, but he also got 7 assists, which has been such a surprising stat that Kavon Looney has been hitting on a consistent basis. He's been doing this time in and time out in all of these games during this series, and he's honestly done it against a great team like the Sacramento Kings. I think with Kavon Looney, yes, he may not give you 10, 20, 25 points per game, but the defensive presence, he definitely shows that Kavon Looney can be the main center for an NBA championship team. So Kavon Looney has not only shown that in this game, but also throughout this whole series. I think what he needs to continue to do moving forward is definitely look to be more aggressive in scoring. I think Kavon Looney, although he doesn't have a shot, he can definitely dominate in the inside, especially against other big men. He's got great finishing around the ring. He can also grab lobs if he needs to. So I do think when it comes to Kavon Looney, although he did get 7 assists, which I think was fantastic to see someone from like Looney, I do think he has the capability of giving you 10, 15 points if he becomes more aggressive when it comes to driving in the lane and coming off that pick and roll. If you're running a pick and roll with Steph and Curry, you will most likely be open due to the fact that Steph really does attract the double team or a lot of help defense. I think it will give a lot of opportunities for Looney, especially in future games, to be open and to be aggressive to finish at the hole. If he has that little hook shot or that little floater, I definitely think he can give you 10, 15 points very easily, and that will honestly not only just help this team during this series, but throughout the rest of the playoff run. The second is Stephen Curry had himself an MVP type performance. Now, I think this comes to no surprise, but if Stephen Curry is playing very well, then I'm telling you right now, the Golden State Warriors are going to win the game. And he's been doing that on back-to-back games, because in this matchup, he was able to get 31 points, 8 assists, and also 2 rebounds. So Stephen Curry did a fantastic job all around, and I think it was fantastic to see him, especially with the cold start he had in Game 1 and Game 2. But now, on the way to Game 5, he has been able to figure out how to actually play against the Sacramento Kings and drop a 30-point bomb on them. He also got 8 assists, which was fantastic to see, and I did mention this in my last video, that Stephen Curry definitely will have the opportunity to make more playmaking decisions, and he definitely did show that in tonight's game. He was the highest in the assist category, leading with 8. Then you had Kavon Looney with 7 and also Draymond Green with 7. Now with this lineup as well, we actually saw Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, and Klay Thompson running that 1, 2, and 3, and then Andrew Wiggins and Kavon Looney to finish it off. But I think Steph Curry with this new lineup, with Jordan Poole actually in it, adds another shooter and also gives a lot more offense for this Golden State Warriors team. Steph Curry can definitely do everything from out there, shooting the 3 ball, also scoring inside, and the fact that he also had other shooters around him, such as Wiggins, such as Thompson, and also Poole, especially in that starting 5, it definitely made it a lot more easier and given a lot more space for someone like Curry to go to work. Now, when we look at his stats, he also shot 12 from 25 from the field, which was fantastic. He did only go 2 from 10 from the 3. However, guys, he did make up from it as well in the free throw line, going 5 from 6. So there are games where you do have a bit of a cold shooting night on the 3, but he made up for it because he was still able to finish with a 12 from 25 from the field. If Curry continues to play this way, I do think they will be able to finish it off in Game 6 back in the Bay. So it's going to be an interesting Game 6 due to the fact that they are back in the Warriors home court, where they can actually end this series right there and then. I really do think the new lineup that Steve Kerr has been running, with Draymond Green coming off the bench and adding Jordan Poole, has definitely given a lot more space for someone like Steph to go to work, and on top of that, giving him more playmaking opportunities. They will probably run this same lineup when it comes to the next series or the next game as well, and I do think it is going to be a very important game for Steph Curry to give 30 plus points if they want to close it out and head over into the next round. The third is Draymond Green being a great six man. So as you all know, Draymond Green has actually accepted his role into being the six man when it comes to this matchup against the Sacramento Kings. Steve Kerr actually said in a most recent interview why he actually did this, and one of the reasons why is that he definitely did see that when Draymond Green is actually off and Steph Curry, Thompson, Poole, Wiggins, and Looney is the starting five, they've noticed there is just a lot more space inside due to the fact that there's a lot more shooters. Draymond Green isn't really too much of the shooter, so he's actually stuck inside, same with Looney, and with both of them inside, it really doesn't give a lot of room for someone like Curry to go to work or even Jordan Poole. So this is an adjustment that they did make, and now with Draymond Green coming off the bench, he's actually doing a lot more and getting a lot more stats, which has been fantastic to see. In this game, he actually got himself 21 points. Yes, guys, this is Draymond Green, the man who only took 1 or 2 shots a game. He went for 21 points. He went 8 from 10 from the field and also 1 from 2 from 3, which was fantastic. But on top of that, he also got 7 assists, 4 steals, and actually 4 rebounds. So I think what was fantastic from this is that Draymond Green seems to be getting and performing a lot better off the bench than he does in the starting lineup. I think it's because he does have a little bit more leeway, maybe when Steph and also Klay are resting, this is where Draymond Green has the opportunity to actually go to work. But it's definitely fantastic to see someone like Draymond Green really shine and show what he is capable of doing if he is given the green light, which he has been ever since he's come into the six-man role. Now, Draymond Green, do not sleep on him, because a lot of people did think, he may not be an integral part to this lineup, but his game today definitely did show that. His 21 points off the bench definitely gave a huge boost for the Golden State Warriors, especially later on in the game, and because of that, they were able to get the win 123-116. I think Draymond Green is going to continue to come off the bench, and I think it is a smart idea at the same time. When it comes to Draymond coming off the bench, the next matchup may be against Memphis and Lakers, and we may see a similar situation. Draymond has actually said in an interview that he has admitted to accepting his role as a six-man for this team. He doesn't really care how many minutes he gets. All he cares about is winning, but he definitely did show that tonight. He still had a good minute because he was on the floor for 32 minutes as well, and he really did lead the charge for that second unit, and I think that's something the second unit definitely needs. The second unit is filled with great players such as Moody, Gary Payton Jr. II. We also have Dante DiVincenzo. So they are great players there, but they don't really have that main leader, and I think Draymond Green really does provide that for the second unit, but also keeps the momentum going, especially when the starters are off. So this is important for Draymond Green and also for the rest of the Golden State Warriors roster. The fourth is Gary Payton II providing the defense off the bench. Now, I think this is something so important. Obviously, the starters played a great game, but having a great bench is just as important, and Gary Payton II definitely showed that in this game against the Sacramento Kings. He had himself 8 points, 6 rebounds, and also 2 steals, and yes, it may not be a stat sheet stuffing stat line, but I'm telling you right now, Gary Payton II, when he was out there, definitely ran amok against the Sacramento Kings. He caused a lot of problems defending some of the best guys in the other teams, such as De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, and also other players like Murray and Barnes. And he did a fantastic job, because the great thing about Gary Payton II is that he's pretty much able to guard 1 through 4. He probably would struggle against someone like Sabonis, but he did have moments where he did guard him and did a fantastic job to the best of his ability. But when it comes to Sacramento, they do like to run a small ball type lineup, and Gary Payton II was able to take advantage of that, especially on defense. He also had some very crucial buckets near the end of the game, whether it was 2, 3 points, he did a fantastic job when it came to the points that mattered. Gary Payton also on defense, although it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, was able to contain some of the great players in the other roster, and I do think when it came to Sacramento, they really couldn't get anything going because of someone like Gary Payton II. If we look at the bench for Sacramento Kings as well, there wasn't really anyone who had a substantial effect on the team besides Malik Monk, but Malik Monk was getting quite a lot of minutes, even more than Kevin Huerter, so he pretty much became a starter. But when it came to all that, I do think Payton II's defense has really been a huge aspect and a huge asset for this Warriors team, especially when it comes to controlling that second unit. Now that DiVincenzo is back in the second unit, you also got other players like Moody, Kuminga, Green, Lamb, and Patrick Baldwin Jr. coming off the bench. They really have a more versatile second unit than they did without him there. It is fantastic to have someone like GP KP2 back, and I do think it is going to continue to pay dividends, not only in the rest of this series, but also into the next round and the rest of the playoffs. The fifth is that Klay Thompson provided the scoring that the Golden State Warriors need. Now, don't get me wrong, when Steph Curry drops 30, 35 plus points, you definitely see Warriors winning games, but the fact that Klay Thompson went for 25 points in this matchup really did seal the deal. If we look at Klay Thompson, he had himself 25 points, 2 rebs, 1 assist, but if we look at his actual percentages, he shot 10 from 19 from the field and went 5 from 11 from the 3. So not only did he drop 25 points, but he shot it at a very efficient rate. And this is something that is very surprising, especially to a lot of normal NBA fans. A lot of them think that Klay Thompson, his streak of being a great second right-hand man shooter to Steph Curry is over, but he just proved everyone wrong. I know me as a Warriors fan, and you as well as a Warriors fan, you definitely see Klay Thompson struggling here and there, but now that it's playoff time, it seems like Klay Thompson has been able to be a lot more consistent, even coming back from 2 serious injuries. A lot of people come back from an injury like that and pretty much are never the same, but Klay Thompson has proved a lot of these haters wrong because he is giving a lot for this Warriors to win these games. 25 points is fantastic, and I am saying this before, if Klay Thompson gives you 30 and also, you know, someone like Steph Curry near 30 as well, you are definitely going to win that game just off sure offense. And I do think it has been possible. You know, the fact that Klay got 25 and Curry got 30, I think those types of numbers is what we want to see from someone like the Warriors team, and those are the types of numbers that pretty much guarantee the Warriors win. I honestly do think when players start to double on Steph or start to help defense, it leaves players like Klay, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, all these players open, and if they are able to convert, then it is pretty much a nightmare for everyone else. So the Golden State Warriors should be able to wrap this up in Game 6 against the Sacramento Kings.